What's up? What's up? So today in this video, this little presentation I put together, I'm going to talk about some problems that I see on social media that specifically, we're going to be talking about fitness, but you might see these in other areas of your life. I'm going to keep it in terms of fitness just because, well, that's what I do. But yeah, if you want to open up, think about this and how can it affect other areas of your life, by all means, please do. So just without further ado, let's jump right in. Four problems with fitness on social media. Problem number one, all right, they're going to be expectations. And what I mean by expectation more so is unrealistic expectations. Okay, so what you see on social media is just this collaboration, whether it's I don't know if that's a word, whether it is a picture, a video, a post, a meme, whatever it might be, you know, typically you're just seeing these individual moments. Okay. You're seeing these individual moments. And the problem with that is that you don't actually see the pathway it took to get there. So, what I mean is like when you see that guy that posts that, or that girl that posts that transformation picture, all you see is the end result. You don't see the road it took to get there. And even if it is saying that, like, oh, there's this 30-day transformation, right? 30, it took me 30 days to do this. Did it actually take 30 days to do that? Or had that person been battling for a year, 2 years to actually hone in what was causing the problem and what led to the results? Right. So when you can't do something in 30 days, it's like, oh, wow, I suck because I couldn't do that. It's not that. It's that you didn't actually see the entire journey that went into it. All right. Next problem with unrealistic expectations is that time perspective issue. Right? Same thing. You don't see how much time goes into actually attaining something. Even if a person might tell you that, you don't actually know. You're just going based on what that person told you. And maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe they don't even realize that it did take longer. Right? You see these guys on fitness. Ask me and myself, right? And I'm not saying this to be cocky at all, but I've posted pictures before, and people have been like, "Dude, I wanna look like that. How long is it going to take me?" And it's like, man, it's taken me 10 years to get to this point. So to tell you that it's going to be, 6 months, a year, da 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 da, that it doesn't really matter, right? Because we're all different. You might take a year, another person might take 6 months, another person might take 10 years. And depending on the goal is going to vary that, but same thing, right? You need to start getting real in how long something is going to take you to get done. And then lastly, with the expectations is the highlights, right? The highlight reel. And the problem here, right? And this is all social media, is everybody's always just sharing their wins. And when people aren't sharing their wins, you know, people get upset because it's like, you know, people are wanting pity, right? I'm not saying to want pity. You shouldn't. But the thing is that when you're only seeing highlights and maybe you're not having a highlight moment in your life, or especially in your fitness, you're going to be thinking like, well, why can't I do that? Well, why can't I do this? Why did this person complete this program and get this result, but I didn't, even though I did the same thing and completed the same thing? And the thing is that you're only seeing their best moment in time from that program. What you're not seeing is their struggles. You're not seeing the lows because nobody wants to post those things. So if you really want to, hold yourself to some better expectations, I challenge you. Post some of the lows. Don't ask for pity. Post some of the things that you're battling with. I promise you're going to start getting better because it's going to hold you accountable. Because everybody's going to be seeing it. I'm going to talk about some solutions here later, but let's get on to the next problem. All right. Problem number two. All right. Band-aids. Band-aid solutions. All right. I see this all over the place. Right. And first thing, one of the biggest ones I think is going to be your meal plans and your restricted dieting. Right. The fads. And why meal plans don't work. I don't think meal plans are a long-term solution. I don't. Meal planning is different. Weekly meal planning is this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the PDF that someone hands you that's like 90 days, eat this. Don't eat that. And a lot of people, I cannot tell you how many people, I don't even know how many people have asked me, hey, Lucas, can you do a meal plan for me? I don't do them because it doesn't solve the problem. It just tells you what to do. It's the same as handing somebody a training plan. Say, hey, just do this. I don't care. I don't care if you get busy. I don't care if you got other things to do. Just do this. And is there a time and place for it? Maybe. But long term, it makes no sense because as soon as you're tired of doing this thing, what do you have? Whole lot of niente, zippity zoppity, because you don't know how to do it, right? You don't know how to build nutrition because somebody's just been saying, hey, just eat this. Just listen to me. All right. Next thing. Oh, this is popular right now. Might get a little bit of hate on this one. Your cleanses or your metabolism boosting supplements. All right. Hey, guess what? The only way outside of like hardcore drugs and steroids, right? The only way to boost your metabolism, to change your metabolism, is to change your body composition. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And all these things that you see out here, the cleanses, the metabolism boosting supplements, the challenges, the juice shots, things, do they have an effect on you? I mean, yeah, anything you put in your body has an effect on you, right? Is it going to make you feel good? Yeah, it might make you feel good. Hell, it might even make you lose a few pounds really quickly. But do you think if you just keep doing this that you're actually going to get to your goal? No. If you do it for a therapeutic effect, I don't really care. Go for it. Do it. That's up to you. It's about where you're putting your dollar. If it's in the value to you, then by all means do it. But is it a long-term solution to the problem? No, it's not. And then that brings me to the challenges and the fads that promise to end all suffering. Guess what? There's no challenge. There's no 6-week challenge on this planet. There's no 21-day challenge. There's no 90-day, plan that's going to end all your problems. I'm sorry. Even my clients that work with me, right? They come in like there's always going to be a problem, right? It's about understanding how to deal with it. It's not just about going through something that you set up or that somebody else has set up for you, right? It's about understanding all the moving pieces. So when someone like promises that like you can work for like a means to an end, it's not about working for means to an end by completing something. It's about working for means to an end by falling in love with the process. All right, moving on. Problem number 3, misinformation, right? Fake news. It's all over the place, especially in fitness. And one of the areas that I see it big in is supplementation. All right. There's so much being sold. I don't even know everything being sold on the face of the planet. And I'm not saying that supplements are bad. The problem is that most supplements, when I say most, I'm saying most of the stuff being sold has little effect on you, on the general public. Now, maybe if you're an elite athlete, it can give you a slight edge on certain things because you've already increased, like you're already at such your genetic potential that any slight edge is important. Okay. But for just the average person, it's not going to fix it. But what is going to fix it? Oh, understanding good nutrition, good training. Supplements can help with those things. They can assist you. But do your research. Do your research on supplements, on everything, right? Get opinions from people that have actually, know what they're talking about. All right. And you see all these. Yeah, I'm going to get to that point here in a second. Next, these absolute training protocols, right? You have to do this. You have to do that. Anybody that's telling you that, like, hey, you have to do it my way, isn't, guess what? We don't all live the same lives. We don't all have the same genetics. We don't all have the same, I mean, we got the same amount of time, but we all manage our time differently. So when someone says that you have to do this and you have to do that, and you feel like you need to listen to them because they've made some sort of progress that you're after, well, the thing is that you don't have to listen to them. There are tons of ways to do different things. And yeah, if somebody is like super experienced in doing something super, super specific that you want to do, you should probably listen to what they're saying. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. But my thing is like when you see people that say like, oh, you have to eat vegan. You have to eat vegan and you have to run for exactly 47 and a half minutes. And then you need to not eat from this window, from this time to this time in order to achieve this. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And sorry for anybody that's vegan. That's just like the first thing that came to mind because y'all are like the most passionate religious people when it comes to your diet. Next thing, guru salesman unicorns, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it is most of the time. All right. Uh, so obviously, like when I say salesman, people are selling fitness everywhere. They're selling fitness everywhere. I know this because guess what? I sell fitness. I sell coaching people. But here's the difference, okay? And here's the difference between me and other people, other coaches like me, because there's other guys that help people in the same way that I help people. The guys that sell things that are easy to sell, that people will buy because of all these other reasons that I've mentioned up until this point, those are the ones you want to look out for because they're selling it to make money because it's easy to do, it's an easy turnaround, and it's a little work for them, right? If somebody comes into my program, they buy my program, I actually have to work with them. Otherwise, what they want does not come to fruition, right? So I actually have to put, my name on the line in terms of getting them to success, getting them to their goals, making sure that they understand the process and all of those things. So when you're deciding, right, where to put your money into fitness, look at those things, right? Is there investment on whoever's selling it end or is there not? All right, moving on. Problem number 4. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of hate on this one, probably. But today, more than ever, we live in a time where you cannot offend people. And certainly there are lines that should be drawn on things that you can say and things that you can't say, but it's starting to get a little ridiculous in some aspects. And what I mean by this is, like when you allow yourself to get offended, right? You're creating these bad positive feedback loops. All right. Here, let me give you an example to explain this a little better. All right. This is a person, right, that like let's just say is like 60 pounds overweight, right? You're in Facebook groups, you're quote unquote trying to lose weight, but like what are you actually doing? It's like maybe you've lost 10 pounds, but you're only walking every day. You're not doing any intensive exercise, but then you go and you talk and you share on Facebook with like, oh, I got my 25-minute walk in today. I ate these good foods, but they didn't share that they didn't do anything else but sit on their butt all day other than that 25-minute walk. And they, ate a pint of ice cream, at night and a whole pizza. They didn't share those things, but they only share the ones. And because they're wanting the attention for the good things, and so they think they're doing good when in reality, there's a whole nother list of problems that's not being addressed. But you're feeling good because all these people are telling you that, oh, you're doing great. You just keep trying, da, 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 da. And I'm sorry, but there is a time when you need to tell a person, and this is for anyone. I would want somebody to do this for me. I love it. I have a lot of mentors in my life, and they call me out when I'm not executing on what I need to do. There's a time and place to be called out, and it's okay. Doesn't mean somebody's trying to offend you. It just means they're trying to better you by telling you the things that you don't want to hear. And what this does is when you are offended, you stunt your progress. Because what happens is an identification problem. You start identifying yourself with who you were and what was. And when you're only focused on those things about who you are in this moment, you lose sight of what you can be, what you can become, the things necessary to execute, to grow. You can't do it. When you're offended, you are closed. You can't say that because I think this so narrow this. But when you open up, wow, now all these new ideas can come in. And you can start picking and choosing and start plugging and playing these ideas in your life. And who knows what? Guess what? You might be able to solve a problem. But if you were always staying in that offensive mode of like, just gotta narrowly make my way through here, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a lot harder of a time. So how do we deal with these problems, Lucas? Well, the first one, the expectation problem, the unrealistic expectation problem. You need to set expectations for yourself based on your goals and not what another person has done, right? Can you be better than the person you were yesterday? Can you set expectations for yourself based on who you want to be, based on who you want to become? And you can have your role models. You can have those people that you look up to. It's a very powerful thing. But when you start comparing yourself to those people, or you're comparing yourself to your friends, your family, the people around you, you're going to be less happy and you're actually going to inhibit your ability to succeed. Problem number 2, the Band-Aid solutions, right? You need to commit to the dealing with the root of the problem, right? Rather than just relying on a crutch, something else to hold you and prop you up so that you don't actually have to do the work. The thing is that there's a lot of work that goes into it, especially if you have big goals. If you want to lose 50 pounds, that's a massive goal. If you want to put on 25 pounds of muscle, that's a massive goal. If you want to be the fittest person that you can be, that's a massive goal. How are you living in your life to get to those goals? It has nothing to do with the challenge, the fad, the diet. It's how you're living and executing on a daily basis. Problem number 3, right? How to deal with the misinformation. Plain and simple. Adopt the scientific method. All right. Research what you're doing. Research what you want to do. Track it. Adjust it. Be diligent. Follow the things necessary to see where this thing is going. Right? If a car doesn't start when you plug it in, when you put the key in, do you just like, oh well, it didn't work. Just I guess gotta go buy a new one. No. You check, is there gas? Did the battery die? Did I change the oil? Da 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 da. And if you can't figure it out, what do? You go to a mechanic, you get somebody to help you. You don't just throw it away. So be scientific in how you go about the process. And then lastly, don't allow yourself to get offended by somebody else. Because what happens when you get offended is you're allowing that person to control who you are becoming. And I don't know about you, but nobody else on this planet, nobody is going to determine who I will be, who I will become. That's on me. And if I allow myself to get caught up with the narrowness of constantly being offended, you're just going to have so much harder of a time. So much harder of a time progressing towards your goals, towards who you want to be. towards the things that you want out of life, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be a lot more difficult. And so once you've dealt with these problems, guess what? There's only one thing left to do. There's only one thing left to do. Toy Story. Bada bing, bada boom. That's all I got for you. Hope this helped. Hope you gave you some clarity, because clarity is everything. And if you have any questions, as always, I'm happy to help. Shoot me a message or drop a comment. I will talk to you later.